So I believe you are all set. We can start. Welcome, everyone.
Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on this webinar. We're very excited. We're thrilled to welcome you to our seminar titled Reimagine Insurance Operations, Automation Efficiency with BlueSPACE's Financial Cloud and Creatio's No Code Freedom. As you well know, and I also know that that's probably why you're here, we currently stand at the intersection of innovation and efficiency, and it's important to explore how cutting-edge technologies can revolutionize the insurance industry. My name is Chukwemeka Ndukwe, and I'm Head of Partnerships at BlueSPACE Africa. With me on this call today, who will also be presenting Joshua Ohinedanso, who's our Business Development Manager for Insurance, as well as Danny Alapsi, who is a pre-sales consultant at Creatio. He'll also be providing you a demo at the end of the event. I know you all have access to the chat. Please, as the presentation is going on, if you have any questions or any concerns, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and we'll definitely get to each and every single one of them. So all I want to say is just get ready to dive into a world where insurance operations are transformed, processes are streamlined, and customer experiences are elevated to new heights. Without further ado, let's get started. So let's start by just walking through the agenda so you know what to expect. Today, we'll be discussing process automation, BlueSPACE's secure financial cloud, Creatio's no-code platform. We'll discuss some case studies, and then finally, we'll also have a demo before we have time for a Q&A. So getting right into it, let's first talk about process automation, right? What is process automation? What does it mean? Fancy words put together. Just in simple terms, it's essentially just using technology to perform tasks without human intervention. And you can begin to think about what that means and what that looks like from the perspective of the business. If there are business critical tasks that you can actually perform without having to actually have a human interfere one way or the other. And that's why we believe that process automation can significantly transform the insurance industry in Africa as a whole, but specifically for us in Ghana. I want to point out that there are three key types of process automation. So there's artificial intelligence, there's robotic process automation, and then there's machine learning. So let's just run right into what the benefits for process automation can be for the insurance industry. First things first is obviously increased efficiency, right? Streamlining workflows, reducing processing time. As a human being, we know what our limitations are. We think of ourselves as our brains as a computer, but we do have a lot of limitations when it comes to the physical strength that we have in us to be able to, do large amounts of tasks over a long period of time. With process automation, that is essentially cut out, and you get increased efficiency, allowing repetitive tasks to be handled by a computer system. Then the next thing following from that is that it also provides enhanced accuracy. There's something we talk about, human error, right? Process automation helps to eliminate that as much as possible, up to 99%, right? Because again, a computer is not prone to making errors that a human being would make, right? The computer will basically just translate data that has been given to it without making too many errors. So that is another benefit that an insurance company can get from automating most of their processes. And then finally, or next on the line, is improved customer experience, right? So which is really important for us as businesses. At the end of the day, we know the saying, customer is king. You want your customers to have an amazing time with you each time they walk into your business, each time they open your app, each time they contact somebody from your business. You want them to have the best experience, because the businesses that provide the best customer experiences are the businesses that win at the end of the day. So what process automation does is it accelerates claim processing and policy management, which essentially leads to higher customer satisfaction. And then, obviously, cash is king for businesses. We know that costs, we always looking to save cost and cut costs as much as we can. And process automation helps to reduce cost, because it essentially reduces the amount of man hours that are spent on specific tasks, and also helps to reduce operational costs, and then optimizes the resources that are available to the company. Now, let's talk about the certain, the places where process automation can apply for a business. So, especially for an insurance company, right? We're talking about practical applications now. So, we're talking about claims processing, automated claims intakes for customers when they need it. We also have the ability to settle faster settlement of issues, right? Because we can make reduce decision making time, right? The things that a human being would have had to detect when it comes to processing claims can be handled by the system that has been developed and created specifically for that through AI-driven decision making. Underwriting also is also another way that process automation can also help to streamline businesses through automated data gathering and efficient collection of applicant information from various databases. So, a given example would be when a customer would maybe apply to use your platform, you need to perform some KYC on the customer. There are databases that are available online for you to see if the customer has been flagged for any, fraud or anything related to that. You don't need to physically start searching through these things. Business process automation can help to reduce the time that it takes to do that. It's essentially bringing it down to automatically flagging customers whenever there is a need to be, as well as helping with risk assessment, using predictive analysis for accurate risk evaluation. These are things that will take 5, 6, 7, 10 people to do. You compress it down and have just the process automation to do that for you. You also have customer service. Again, you want to make sure that, again, like I just to reiterate, every single time a customer interacts with your business, you want it to be the best time that they've interacted with your business. So the process automation tools help with chatbots and virtual assistants, providing 24/7 support. So businesses might not have the ability to have somebody on the platform 24/7. What I mean by that is over the weekends. The process automation tool can essentially help with common inquiries, which typically, study shows that around 80% of customer questions are usually typically the same thing. So you automate those things, and the process automation tool and the virtual assistant can help to handle most of these things without them ever having to speak with any human being at any point in time. And then if there's even a need to speak to a human being, the tool can then notify the person that has been designated to respond to those inquiries. And then also the chatbot can also provide policy recommendations and renewals within your app or through your own customer channels that you've created to relate with customers, and provide personalized suggestions, again based on the customer data. So this is actually a really important part, because you want to be suggesting to customers the things that they need at the time that they need it, right? So that you're not suggesting things to me. You're not suggesting maybe health insurance to me when at the moment what I really, really need is life insurance, for example. The business that understands me enough to provide me with the life insurance that I need at the time that I need it is probably the one that I would go with. And then finally, and I think maybe most importantly, is fraud detection. We discussed a bit of it earlier, but we're talking about also real-time monitoring and continuous surveillance for suspicious activities. So a good example might be the customer logging into their app today from Accra, and then within 4 hours they're logging in from the US. Right, you automatically know that it's not possible for somebody to go from Accra to the US within less than 4 hours. So that's something that the system can automatically also flag, which again also anomaly detection. Also help to head off DDoS attacks and things like that. So before I go any further, right, I would like to discuss BlueSPACE Financial Cloud, considering that this is a partnership, or this webinar is being provided to you as a partnership between BlueSPACE and Creatio. At BlueSPACE, for insurance companies, we think of ourselves as driving profitability and speed of service delivery in retail insurance, and including corporate banking, payments, lending, and trade for small businesses. For us, we're a local indigenous business with local perspective, and our focus is on trying to get the businesses that run the economy here to get the most that they can out of technology at the least cost possible. At the end of the day, it's extremely important to keep your competitive edge as a business. And what BlueSPACE does is we help you think through the next 5 steps, the next 6 steps, so that you can continue to compete well, both locally and globally, right? So that's one of the reasons, and that was the drive and the thrust for us to think, okay, what do we do to help our local insurance companies begin to compete at the level that they're supposed to be competing on the continent, as the continent starts to open, as well as on a broader scale in the world. And for Creatio itself, I would like to use their own words specifically for this. Creatio delivers the freedom to own your own automation, and you'll see that both during the demo, but also as we go through the presentation, by providing one platform for customer engagement and workflow automation with no code. Now, please just remember the word with no code, because I know as we started this presentation, some people are already beginning to calculate how much they need to spend on developer fees to get some of this up and running. With Creatio, that essentially does not become a concern because Creatio provides a no-code tool that allows you to get up and running as fast as you can get up and running, right? You can, your staff can get trained on how to use it within a week or less. You can get new applications moving also as fast as possible. You can begin to launch instances whenever they are needed based on customer feedback. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You will see this during the demo. So just looking at some of the world-class companies, international organizations that make use of Creatio, I want to highlight Heritage Insurance because of the relevance. I want to highlight MetLife, but I also want to speak about the other financial institutions like First United Bank and Trust, Animac, Leader Bank, and Royal United, which are all international standard banks who have used or are using Creatio to some degree or the other. And this is essentially just in the FinServ space, right? There's also other use cases for Creatio, but of course, we'll just leave it specifically to FinServ right now because it's more relevant to what we're discussing here. These are also some of the recognition that Creatio has gotten internationally. And I'm very sure as I'm speaking, some people are also quickly searching up Creatio and what Creatio is and how they work. I'm sure you're going to see all this by yourself. Creatio has been named the leader in the LCAP Technology Value Matrix 2023 by Nucleus Research. They are recognized as a strong performer in the Forrester Wave Financial Services CRM Q3 2023. Creatio are also named a challenger in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Salesforce Automation. Just a few, right? But again, we will be sending some of these things to you after the seminar so that you can also check them out. But it's just a way for us to help you understand that Creatio is both recognized by the users and by industry analysts who follow some of these trends. Now, it's important to note that the demand for automation is obviously growing. Like I said, one of the few ways that a business can keep its competitive edge nowadays is by including technology where necessary and automating the processes that can be automated. But then delivery capacity is limited because there's only 25 million developers available. Now, this is just using Ghana as a use case. You know how difficult it is to hire a solid developer with a good head on their shoulders who knows what they're about. So we've also seen that to become a bit of a barrier to companies adopting new technologies. Now, we also expect that around 500 million new applications will be developed over the next few years. What's an application? Basically, a software tool that is created to do specific tasks, right? And both businesses and individuals will be developing new technologies, new applications over the next few years. But how? How are they going to develop that? We also understand that there's currently 1.7 billion knowledge workers available that understand their workflows but lack technical skills, right? So you can see that there's a bit of an inverse relationship where the demand for technology is growing, the demand for automation is growing, but the capacity to deliver is not as strong because of the high barrier to entry for using some of these technologies. And honestly, that's where Creatio comes, and that's the beauty of Creatio. So looking at the growth of no code tools over the from 1980, how things have grown from initially monolithic architecture where everything had to be housed and developed inside your environment before we've moved over to cloud architecture, and we expect that the future is composable no code architecture, right? Where basic processes and applications and software are developed, both with the use of AI as well as with the use of no code tools. And it's important for companies to place themselves ahead of the curve because, when the first set of people began to think, oh, you know what, instead of us having these things done manually, how about we move it to the cloud? How about we move it to the cloud? There was a lot of questions around, cost. But what has happened is that we've now realized that cloud infrastructure is actually cheaper because once you perform the initial act of moving there for the first time, over time, your cost then begin to drop over time. You see significant drops in your cost over time, especially when you compare it to what you would have spent on your monolithic architecture. And we also see that to be the case as we begin to move more towards composable no-code architecture. I mean, right now as I speak, you can quickly just Google, no-code tools. For example, you can see the flood of results that you're going to get. But then you need to focus on tools that have have shown that they have the ability to withstand pressure and provide the best experience both to you as a business and to your customers. So again, I asked you to just mark the word no code when we were starting out this presentation. And again, I want to also bring it up again that Creatio essentially is one platform that automates your CRM and workflows with no code, right? Your marketing, from your marketing activities, when you do your outreach to try to reach as many people as you can reach, to the ones who finally enter your funnel, to the ones who then become customers and begin to interact with your business. Creatio is able to handle every single one of this because that's how the tool has been built to essentially put you in one place. So you don't have to jump from pillar to post. Everything is kept in one place, and you can essentially watch your customer journey, know where you acquire them from, know the circumstances that made them to sign up, understand the significant marker, so that when you're speaking to them, there's a memory of an institutional memory of information about and data about that specific customer, so they always feel like they're coming home. They're coming to a place where people understand what they need, which is what you need, what customers want to feel now. So Creatio is also able to connect with your existing tools that you use. So it's not an island, basically, right? It can also connect with the tools that you already use right now, which makes it such that you can transfer data from the other tools that you're using to Creatio. And also, for example, if you don't want to replace every single tool at the same time, Creatio can also still serve with using connectors and extensions. So if nothing else, just think about it as a single platform to automate CRM and customer-centric workflows, consolidate customer data across all departments and business functions, as well as providing you with actionable AI insights and advanced capabilities to maintain data accuracy. Once you implement Creatio in your business, everybody will be able to log in and have access to one database, which, by the way, can be restricted based on what every department needs to see, right? So everybody's not going to be seeing exactly. You can set the permissions at the beginning. The main admin can set the permissions at the beginning, and then the departments can see what they need to see. So when the marketing team is handing off to the sales team, they're handing off to the sales team both within the same platform. They can see the details about the customer and so on and so forth. I also want to, not to go too deep into this because this is also going to be addressed during the demo, but, providing actionable AI insights. Again, I want to also highlight the fact that it's very important to give customers what they want when they want it, because it gives them a better chance of converting. So an example might be a customer who signed up at the age of, 54, 55. The AI platform can also provide you with insights of what kind of products and services are best to sell to them at any given moment in time. So it's also important to note that with Creatio, you can transfer your data to other aspects of your business without having it leak outside. So essentially, Creatio is a secure platform where your data of your customers are protected, and you can always assure them that their data is 100% protected and dealt with all within your compliance requirements. So when you begin to implement Creatio on your system or in your company, you begin to see that it provides powerful business process automation tools that digitize your customer-centric workflows, as well as intelligent triggers, as well as also an ability to modify processes on the fly while delivering ongoing improvements. So it's not a static thing you implement and then you have to keep checking. It actually begins to improve itself based on the data that it continues to gather from your business. Again, no code. It's very important to note that these are no code design tools, and they also come with some pre-built functionalities that you can actually implement immediately so that you can get started immediately. So for your common processes, some of these things have already been created. So you just need to implement it, right? And you see that because it's a no code tool, the barrier to installation is way lower. So you don't have to start thinking about employing new people, for example, right? Your existing technology staff can quickly learn how to use it, how to manage it, and then also updates from Creatio are provided in the cloud. So you don't have to, you suffer fewer service interruptions using Creatio. So I want to begin to wrap up by just pointing out that they are ready to use models. There's no code configuration, and the AI part of Creatio is a seamless part of the platform. So it doesn't feel as if it's something that was added on, right? It's a seamless part of it. It flows continuously with the app as you continue to use it. And of course, there are no limitations or restrictions. So here are a couple of companies that use Creatio for their businesses. Again, I want to highlight Heritage Insurance and MetLife, who combined have a market cap of almost $1 billion, right? Making it very, very clear that Creatio is no small tool, right? They have been able to implement their tool across solid businesses that have seen clear value in making use of Creatio. So just to look at the case study, the user story for Heritage Insurance, it automates end-to-end case management processes with the service Creatio platform. I mentioned earlier that there is marketing, sales, and service platform. So the service is what they use to automate end-to-end case management. And then MetLife Colombia streamlines lead management processes with the help of Creatio marketing. So I'm going to hand over at this point to Danny to run through the demo. I hope questions have been dropped in the chat as the presentation was going. We'll be happy to answer them as we go. Anything that's not clear, and I think after the demo session, we can then come back and then allow any questions that need to be answered. So thank you very much for taking the time, and I'll hand over to Danny now.
Thank you so much for the amazing presentation, and welcome everyone. As you know, let's jump to the live demo of Creatio solution to see how actually we can automate our workflows, how we can have one unified CRM. As we mentioned in the presentation, Creatio provides one platform for sales, marketing, and service, which is covering all parts of CRM. All of them will be on one platform. As we mentioned earlier, whenever you have any question, please drop it on the chat. We'll have a specific time at the end of the session for Q&A, so we'll answer all your questions. Now, let's start our demonstration. As you can see from my screen, we are logged into the system. I logged in as an administrator, which have full access for everything, but definitely, as we mentioned earlier, that each user will have a specific access based on his permission. So based on the permission that you would like to provide him, the sales user, the marketing user, they will have a specific access and permission based on the operation that they have to do. During the presentation, you will see how the system is very user-friendly and very easy to navigate between all the sections. On the left side here, we can see all the modules that we have, starting from the contact center, sales, marketing, underwriting, renewal, and customer service, plus the studio, which is our no-code platform. The concept here is this out-of-the-box CRM is made specifically for insurance company to cover all the operation for insurance companies. So if we start from the homepage, or actually from the sales, we can see for each module, we have a specific homepage where usually this will be the first screen for each user that they are going to see during their day operation. That means whenever, for example, if I have access to sales, I will be seeing the sales homepage, which will give me actually some insight and analytics about all the information related to sales. Let's say the opportunities that I'm working on, new client versus existing client. I can have some charts related to policies by status, and renewal, which is required, and renew policies review for renewal. And the good thing here in the system that, first of all, at any time, if I would like, let's say, to change the layout of these dashboards or charts, it's very easy. Easily, I can change the layout of it. Plus, one more thing is all the data that we are seeing here, or all the charts that we are seeing here, are interactive dashboard. That means if I would like, for example, to go deep level in order, let's say, to know which record I have, let's say, in the policies with the status of current, I can easily just display this data, and I will have the list of all those records, which I could open them one by one. In addition to this, at any time, if I would like, let's say, to add the new dashboard, easily by drag and drop, we can add new dashboard to the system, which will make it very easy for the users to work, and even for the managers, since they will be actually main concerning about high-level information, so easily they can create new dashboard or reports with drag and drop functionality. Now let's jump to the core information, or the most important data that each organization or each insurance company will be looking for. So here we can see that we have the contact and account, because we know at Creatio that all insurance companies, they are dealing with B2C and B2B companies. So either B2C or either B2B. In case, for example, we are talking about specific contact or a specific customer, here we have the list of all the contacts that are available in the system with different type. If it is like, let's say, as a primary client, insured person, it could be a partner, or maybe internal employee in the system. Plus, in the accounts, it could be, let's say, a customer, partner, supplier, and so on. Before we deep dive and see one of examples of this contact, we can see here on the left side the segmentation actually feature which Creatio provides, which will help the users to segment their contact or combine them, well, let's say in specific folder, which they could use it later in some marketing campaigns, for example. So while I'm doing, let's say, a marketing campaign, I could actually use and benefit from these folders that I'm creating. So the system automatically will know who are these contacts belong to this folder. So this is very important feature, and especially for marketing users, it will be very helpful for them. Now let's deep dive in our customer 360 or contact 360. Why we call it contact 360? Contact 360 because from one screen, I can see 360 view information about my contact and even my accounts. That means from this screen, we can see that all the information that it is related to this customer, it's available on the screen, starting from the main information, the account relation, and here we can see different tabs. Each tab will represent some information related to this customer. The first tab mainly will be some high-level information or insight analytics about the data for this contact. So let's say I can see next payment date, renewal date, some chart about the engagement score, latest NPS score. In that case, it will give the user who will be working on the system the ability to know everything that he wants to know about this customer if he's talking, let's say, with him. Plus, I can see here the main information, which is the basic information that could be defined for this contact. I can see the conversation, or we can say that this is the timeline. That means this will list all the interactions and activities that happened with this contact in chronological way, in terms of, let's say, any document, attachment, emails, calls, chat, or feed. Everything will be logged in this screen. That means the user can see the full history for this contact. So in case any other employee contacted this contact before, I can have the visibility to know exactly what happened. In addition, to see the client portfolio, to see what are the policies, what are the claims, let's say, that this contact did previously. In addition to some information about the sales, marketing, and service, which will show me the full information about sales, starting from the orders, opportunities, invoices, documentation. All of this will be logged in one screen. So this will give like the concept of a 360 view to this screen. In addition to this, actually, we have here few tabs which will be very important. The first one will be the attachment, where I can attach any type of attachment related to this contact. So it will be available here. Plus, as well, let's say the next step, where this will show what are the steps that I have to do with this contact. That means for me as an employee who is working with this contact, I can see that what I need to do with this contact. Shall I need to send him a new email? Shall I have with him a new call? It could be as well helpful with the machine learning model to suggest for me or recommend for me some next best action or some offers which I could actually offer to him. And since we are talking actually about the customer and the contacts, how we can interact with these contacts, it's very important to show our communication panel, where this communication panel will have multiple options in order to have interaction in the system. So the first one will be the feed, where I could have internal communication or internal interaction with the users, where I could tag some people, I could add some comments and like and dislike, same as like any social media platform. In addition to this, will be very helpful as well that Creatio could integrate with the call center solution actually in order to receive calls and place calls directly from the solution or from Creatio. That means no need for the user actually to go to another solution to answer the call of the customer. Directly while working on the CRM, I can answer the call, I can open the contact 360 view to have full information and start doing some activity for this contact. In addition to this, to have the ability to full synchronization with your mailbox, where it will give the ability as well to the users to read and send their emails directly from Creatio platform with full synchronization as well for the email calendar. That means whenever the user has a meeting, it will be available as well in the calendar on Creatio. Plus, last option of the communication will be the social media integration. That means Creatio could integrate with any business plan for your social media platforms such as WhatsApp, Messenger, Viber, Telegram, and so on. That means the user will be able actually to do these activities or to interact with the customer directly from the system. So this is mainly for the contact and account. This is the main information about all our customers and partners that they are available in the system. This is an example of the account as well. In same way, we have all the information available. Now let's see exactly, let's jump to the part of the policies, where we have policies in the system defined and how I can see these policies. So in same way, I can see the list of all policies, and if we open one of those policy, you can see that I have the main information about this policy, plus I have actually here the workflow for this policy to know exactly currently this policy at which stage it is. And here we have a few tabs where it will show the information about the payments, about the claims, and so on. Now, maybe, and this is actually the powerful option of no code, and this is how Creatio built actually this solution. Maybe for some organization, they have different process, or they would like to add, let's say, more information, or they would like at any time in the future to do some changes. How I could do these changes actually with the no-code platform? So easily by going to the designer of the screen, if we open the designer from here, this is the designer. So for me as a business user, if I'm not a technical user, I could easily by drag and drop change this data, or maybe let's say add more fields from the field section that it is available here. Not only this, I don't need to worry about anything related to the database or how the system is actually adding those fields. For me as a business user, I just add them as drag and drop, and that's it. Not only this, since we were talking about the composability or composable architecture, Creatio provides some components and widgets. That means I can use them directly in the system without actually to develop them from scratch. In case, for example, I would like to add, let's say here, the approval process or approval section. I have already a ready-made components for the approval, which I could as well by drag and drop add it to the system. In addition, let's say to approval list. So you can see that in seconds with the just drag and drop, I added a new tab for approvals instead of taking too much time with the legacy development in order actually if I would like to develop any of these features. So this is what Creatio actually provide the tools to help the business users to automate their automation, and officially as well the IT, not only the business users, where they could create not only change or do some changes on the screen, but also they can create a new application in same way with the no-code capabilities. Now, since we mentioned, or since we talked about actually about the policies, we have as well for each policy some claim which is related to this policy. So at any time, if there is a new claim, I could submit a new claim. It could be from here, it could be from the cases section, or I could open the details of this claim. So I could open this claim to see exactly the workflow for this claim. And as we can see here, that as well as for the claims, I have a specific workflow which I could manage or I could change at any time I need. So here I can see as well, let's say the time for resolution, because we know that for each claim or for each service that insurance company you are providing, you might have some SLAs. So Creatio will track as well the SLA to actually to provide a notification or to keep an eye and help the user who is working on the system to know exactly that if he is exceeding or overdue the SLA or not, and how much time is left in order to resolve this issue or claim. Plus, here I have the conversation where I could interact between the users, internal or external, by, let's say, tagging more people, or let's say adding tag people to ask him to, let's say, please check this issue. Where whenever I'm interacting, automatically the system will capture this information and I will have the ability as well to add comment and likes. This will be very helpful for internal communication in the system. Plus, for each workflow, in case I have specific steps that I would like to provide to the users, as well, I could provide it in the next step. Now, let's see in case I would like to manage this workflow of the claim. If I would like, for example, to add some stages, or maybe I would like to add some steps per each stage. How I will do it? Easily with going actually to the designer of the screen. As we mentioned earlier, that I could manage the design of the screen, but as well as I have the ability actually to manage this workflow designer. So this workflow designer, currently we have those stages, but in the future, we might need to add different stages, or we might need to add another stages plus maybe some steps per each stage. So here we can see that the system is opening actually our stages, where we could have multiple workflows based on the category, let's say. So in case, for example, it is a claim, I will have a specific workflow, while if it is, let's say, a case related to a complaint, it could have a different workflow. So this is also an option which will be available in Creatio. Now let's come to the part of actually managing the workflow, how I can manage the workflow. As we can see easily as well, by drag and drop, I can change the layout, or actually the flow, or the stages. And at each stage, I have some steps which I could add. And this is the no-code feature that we were talking about. That, for example, I would like to send email. I would like to add approval process. So easily I will add here, let's say, manager approval. So without the need actually to write any line of code, while adding this component of managing approval, easily I just need to set who will be doing this approval. Is it, let's say, the user, my manager, or maybe a specific role? Is this approval a required step or optional step? What will happen in case of positive approval? Let's say it will go to in progress. In case of negative approval, it will go to cancel. So this is how I can actually manage or add the steps here in the system for each stage. Plus, at any time, I could as well run the business process. As we mentioned during our presentation, we have the business process management engine, where it will help me to automate any task or any operation that I need to run it in the backend. That means now, in case, for example, here, once I'm on the received stage, I will run this business process. What do you mean by business process? The business process is something like this, where I have a start point and end point. And between those 2 points, I have some activities I need to run to automate some specific action that I need to do. As you can see here, we are reading, let's say here, the information about this case, and based on a specific action, I'm going to send an email. At any time, if I would like, let's say, to add more actions or more options or to change this business process, I have here all the fields and all the options which allow me to do, let's say, integration, processing some files, doing, let's say, running some formulas, predicting some data based on the machine learning model. So how this could be done? Easily by drag and drop, I could, let's say, add those fields. I could add approval as well, and link them with each actually between the components. So in that case, no need actually to go for heavy development or to write any line of code. So easily at any time, this will be very important to comply as well with always with all the compliance or the changes that any insurance company could have. So this is mainly to discuss about the business process management, as well as actually the workflow automation. If we come back to our solution, since we talked about the Contact 360 policies and the claim, we have as well other modules which we could cover. In sales, let's say we have the process where you have a new customer or when you have a new lead. Those leads could be coming actually from, it could be from different channels. It could come from the website, from the landing page, from the phone calls, from the marketing activities that you are doing, or it could be as well defining them manually. So at any time, if you would like to define any, let's say, any lead in the system, easily you could define it. And as we saw for policy and claims, we could have as well some workflow where this lead will pass through multiple stages until we convert it to an opportunity. Once it is converted to opportunity, then maybe another team will be working on it in same workflow. So we're just trying to provide an overview about the capability of the system, how you could design your process, your lead process or sales process in a very dynamic way, and whatever information you would like actually to change or to add in the system easily, this could be done in the system. Plus, not only lead and opportunities. If we are talking about sales, actually the system is covering lead to cash process. We can manage the orders, the invoices, the quotations that it is going to be sent. I can track as well all the invoices. I can see all the quotation that I have in the system. So all this could be automated. Here, if we opened any example of these invoices, I can see, let's say, this invoice, how much amount is paid, what is the payment plan, how much amount still it needs to be paid. So I will have full visibility on everything that is happening for the sales process. Plus, if we move as well to another section where we have the underwriting, there is a specific section for underwriting, which will be usually very helpful for actually all insurance companies, where they have specific access to manage the policies, opportunities, and contact and accounts that they are dealing with. Last few points that I would like to mention before we wrap up. I know that we could spend hours on the demo because a lot of features actually still available in the system. But last thing that I would like to show, which is the marketing tool or the marketing model, where you could, first of all, you could design your marketing campaign, you could link your digital ads in order to keep track, let's say, all the digital ads that you have. So in case, let's say, we open any of this marketing campaign, we can see as well how the designer for this marketing campaign will be as well in a very beautiful layout, which will help the marketing team to design their campaign, and not only designing it, but applying it and giving them the ability actually to track exactly all the activities that's happening for this campaign. Now, last point that I would like to cover actually in this demonstration, which is, since we were talking during our presentation about the AI capability, I would like to introduce you to our Creatio Copilot, where here we have our Creatio Copilot, which will be based on generative AI. It will be very helpful for the user to interact with them. So I could ask Creatio Copilot any question that I need, and even I could ask even him to do some task for me. So let's say, for example, let's try to ask him what he can do for me. Right. So I'm asking now Creatio Copilot what you can do for me. So now we can see that Creatio Copilot answered me with all the activities that they can do, let's say, like sending emails, summarizing an opportunity, creating a knowledge-based article, and many other features. Let's try, for example, to ask him to summarize this contact information. Summarize this contact information. So here, what Creatio Copilot will do actually is will summarizing this information about this contact and provide it me in a very efficient way. So for me as a user, I can see the main information. This will be very helpful to interact with the AI, because not only asking and replying, I could as well ask him, let's say, to schedule a meeting for me, or maybe write an email who will come, let's say, this contact. So once I write this sentence actually to Creatio Copilot automatically, we can see that is generating an email for me with the format that I already defined in the system. In that case, it will help the user, and it will save a lot of time for the user who will be working on the system by actually creating emails, scheduling meetings, and many other features. So this is in general what we would like to cover in this demonstration to cover all the details about the CRM from sales, marketing, and service. Plus, we covered the no-code capability and how the system will help us with the AI, generative AI features. Um, I would like to see or to check if you have any question on the chat. If you provided us any question, please let me know, and I will be very happy to answer those questions. Okay, so we can see that we have some questions on the chat. Amazing. So let's read them one by one. So Creatio can be used as the core insurance application for an insurance company, manage the core operation of the company related to policy administration, claim processing, and underwriting. Yes, exactly. This is what Creatio is providing, as we saw during the demonstration. All these features of policy management, claim processing, underwriting capabilities, all of this will be managed in one platform. Not only this, any marketing activity, any customer service, interaction with the customers, lead to cash process, all of this will be managed on the platform. So one more question, how does your insurance automation software integrate with existing system and data source? Amazing question. If we are talking about integration, it's very essential actually to do that Creatio could integrate with different type of solution that you have. So we have Creatio provide multiple options for integration. First of all, we have our marketplace where we have more than 400 applications, add-ons, and connectors. So we could have a ready-made connector if we are talking, let's say, about integration with the ERP that we have. In case not, we have as well our ability in Studio to actually to have, let's say, web services integration through APIs, REST service, and SOAP service, which allow us to integrate with any third-party solution, whatever it is. So in that case, even this integration will be through no code. That means I don't need to rewrite, let's say, an API for it. No, easily I could go to web service section where here I could have the list of all APIs that I have. And at any time, if I would like to create a new API, I can easily create a new API without the need actually to write any line of code. So if you try to open any of these actually examples, we can see how we have the base information or the main information about this web service, how we can see the method with the request parameter and the response parameter, where this will be added. And in that case, I don't need to write any line of code to have actually integration. Let's check other questions. How exactly could AI benefit the insurance industry, and do the benefits outweigh the risk? Amazing as well. So regarding the AI, as we saw during the demonstration and presentation, we have different type of AI capabilities in the system. First of all, we have the machine learning model, which will help the user actually to increase, let's say, their productivity, to do, let's say, like upsell. Since we have in the machine learning model, there is a capability of, let's say, recommending next best offer or next best action that you have to do with this customer. So in that case, it will increase, or you can do upsell in order to increase your productivity. Plus, as AI, we saw in Creatio Copilot how it can help us to summarize some information, doing some task for me, and even answering me on all questions that I have. So whenever I have, let's say, as a manager, I don't have enough time, let's say, to read all the information about specific opportunity, I could ask AI or Creatio Copilot to summarize this information for me and do some task. Not only this generative AI is also included in creating new application. So while I'm creating a new application, I could ask AI with a small sentence, let's say I would like to add vacation request to this solution. So I can ask AI that please create for me an application for vacation request with 3 level of approvals. Then in seconds, Creatio Copilot will start creating this application for me, which will help me at least with the base of this application, which I need at the end only like to fine tune and do small customization. So this is how AI actually help the user and outweigh the risk from the insurance companies. Thank you so much. So any other question, any other feedback that you have, please feel free to ask us.
Thank you so much, Danny. This was a very, very comprehensive presentation. I think there's a new question.
Yeah,
Is it able to integrate with existing accounting software, or does it have its own built-in accounting system,
yes.
Danny?
Yeah, as we mentioned, in case this software that we want to integrate with, we don't have a ready-made connector for it, then definitely we do have and we do support multiple options for integration through web services or APIs, as well as since Creatio also provide cloud option and on-premise option, not only cloud, then we could have, let's say, like staging database integration way or web services APIs. So yes, any type of solution, any third-party solution, if it is accounting, HR, or any type of solution we need to integrate with, Creatio is capable to integrate, to send and receive information from any third-party solution.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? Please, guys, feel free to ask any questions that you have. That's why we're here.
Sure.
But I also wanted to point out that BlueSPACE is an official partner for Creatio in Ghana. So we are here to assist you with, answering even more questions you have after this. If you have any further questions, please feel free to send a mail. We'll obviously send the post, seminar mail to everybody. We'll send some of the slides as well so that you can just begin to ruminate over it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out once we've sent out the emails. But I think
We are
I
also
don't.
very happy to do demo at any time.
Yes, yes. We're also happy to do another demo for you specifically based on your own specific use case, just to make
Yeah,
that very clear. But thank you guys very much. Thank you, Danny. Thank you to the Creatio team. Thank you to
yes.
everyone who has taken the time to join. I hope this has been very illuminating. And like I said, we'll send a post-webinar mail. If there's no other question, I think we can wrap this up now. Thank you very much, guys.